throughout the streams, and I got on Gab as well. So hopefully enough people are using that where it's functional. I'll announce those things more prominently in my next video. Just make sure the word gets out.
I don't know how active Gab is. Is it decently active when you're on it? I have one, but I don't really use it as of lately.
It seems like there's a sufficient number of people on it, but I don't really have that many followers yet, so I don't think people really know about it. But I think if I announce it, more people will hop onto Gab.
So because of the comments being disabled, would you say you're going to be streaming more because of that, or is it just something that you were planning to do anyway?
Well, I was planning to do that as part of the Patreon thing for patrons to watch every Friday and Saturday. So
it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I wanted to ask you, by the way, about your name change, because when I announced the interview, a lot of people were like, "Who's Soph?" And it's not because you're irrelevant or unknown or something. It's because of your name change. So how come you had that name change?
Well, I just thought LT Corvus was a corny name. And it's not really the best thing. Soph is just more fitting. Just works better.
I think Lieutenant Corvus was cute for when you were younger. It's a cute little girl being called Lieutenant. Aw.
Yeah, being a gamer or whatever. But yeah.
It's a good name, the good rebrand in my opinion. I wish I had a name that was easily shortened, but I couldn't possibly call myself Brit. That's just not a searchable term. Yeah, that's Another question I wanted to ask you. I noticed, because I've watched you for a long time, I did have a break between watching you. I had caught up on your more recent content more recently. But I remember when you used to make content, and even now I see sometimes in the description you say that someone else helps you write the videos sometimes. Who is that?
That's Vaporboy. He has a YouTube channel of his own, and essentially, it's pretty much how any comedy group functions. It's not like my dad, writes my scripts and then I say them. I'll usually type up a draft, and then we'll get into a Discord call and just bounce ideas off of each other and make the script better and just refine it over a lengthy period of time. But it's a collaborative effort rather than I don't want people to misconstrue that as I'm hiring somebody to write everything I say for me. No, the things I'm saying are things that I thought.
Yeah, I noticed that a few people were trying to people just tend to do this in general, and even more prominently with women online. They just try to dismiss whatever you accomplish, if you make a video. And I saw people doing it to you too. They were saying oh no, someone else writes your stuff.
Yeah, people do that a lot, and I guess I could take it as a compliment because they're saying my stuff is too good to actually be written by a child, and that's sort of a compliment. But it is kind of annoying, just given how much work goes into my videos nowadays. It takes a whole month just to put out a 10-minute video.
You can definitely tell there's high production quality there.
It gets kind of on my nerves, and I try to clarify that as much as possible so people don't misconstrue it. I feel in the Destiny debate, I don't want to make false assumptions, but I feel he might try to use that, or his White Knights might try to use that.
Oh, his White Knights will use anything. They used CP as a valid form of therapy, so...
Yeah.
Is your debate on, when was it?
It's on Friday, so...
This coming Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you plan on, you don't have to say if you don't want to show all the cards in your hand, but, do you plan on addressing that whole CP thing?
Well, yeah, that's one of the topics I have quite a big problem with. Just, it's pretty obvious why.
Yeah, how do you feel about that as a underage girl, about him being a pedo apologist? How does that make you feel?
It's really quite creepy. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Do you have any, since you've debated him before, do you have any tips on how to handle him?
Well, yeah, you just can't let him take control, because he does a lot of he moves the goalposts, and he'll just it's like when someone just says a bunch of stupid things at you, and then you have to sit there and try to deconstruct every single thing, but they're just gonna keep piling it onto you. That's what he does. So don't let him take control. You need to be very stern with what you want to ask and what you want to say. Don't let him
Yeah.
drag you around.
Because if you're on a point that he doesn't like, he has this really special talent of somehow moving the topic to something completely else in a really short amount of time, and you don't even know what just happened to you. Because he can go down like these tiny little specific rabbit holes and then switch the topic entirely through that.
Yeah, the niche examples. I mean, listen, you don't have to worry too much about him dragging you around. I mean, you guys are probably like the same size, so I'm sure you could square up if you wanted to. I was gonna ask you about his friend Hassan. It's so
Oh, right.
it's so weird to call him that because there used to be a Twitch. I mean, there still is a Twitch admin. He was like memed for following a bunch of girls on Twitch, like a bunch of e-girls, and like they would make jokes about him getting their nudes so that he wouldn't ban them, like when they would clearly violate the rules. And that was a big meme for years. So now that there's this streamer named Hassan, it's like really confusing when I say it. So.
Yeah.
But with him, his viewers, I saw the Ralph Retort stream, the portion you were in. His viewers were harassing him.
Yeah, I think that was the case. They were mulling over how they would assassinate me, something like that.
Just something casual like
funny.
that, you know.
Yeah, just something casual, regular discussion amongst adults. Or I don't know how old his viewers are, to be honest, but they gotta be somewhat out of touch. Oh shit, Okay, sorry, my internet pooped up.
Oh, someone suggested in the donations, New Renaissance, with $5 said if you debate pedophilia, you should watch his debate with AMOC. That's the one I watched before I made the video, so yeah, I would definitely recommend that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, his that's his Destiny is friends with that guy, the Hassan guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they speak similarly. They do the sure dude thing.
Oh god. But like, it's funny. Birds of a feather just seem to flock together. You know, you have him being upset about other people having something on him rather than, the fact that they're threatening a forest where they want to like kill you because they call you a Nazi. And you said you were ANCAP, right?
Yeah, I am ANCAP, which is kind of funny.
They just think, yeah, it's like pretty much the opposite, but like.
Yeah.
They think it's the same thing because they're dumb. And the funny part is, like, I don't know if you noticed, they all try to, like, emulate him. Just like you were saying with Hassan. Like, it's the same thing with Destiny. Like, the viewers just try to emulate them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really dumb and they think they're smart. It's like when you watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
You think you're smart for watching it.
Yeah, that's really funny. I encountered, like, Vapor Boy. We'll just call him Victor because that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
But, we talk a lot, and recently... And this is like I made this into a exclusive content on my Patreon. Essentially, somebody came to the Fantano Discord server where he's on because he edited for Anthony Fantano. And you could tell it was a Destiny fan because he like came to the Discord and started talking to the other people on the Discord trying to convince them that Victor is actually a Nazi. And then when Victor said, "No, I'm not a Nazi," he just kept saying, "Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, right. I'm not a Nazi. It's just a joke." Like being sarcastic like that, being exactly like Destiny and moving goalposts. It was really strange.
Oh my god, it's just the same thing to them because they're so dumb that that's the thing about dumb people. They don't know how to just make simple observations or they're not unable to distinguish things, so they just call everything the same.
Yeah. Well, because it's convenient for them to call everything the same because they want to ruin people's careers. They're very like omnidestructional. So like they'll call someone like me who's ultra libertarian a Nazi, and it's a contradiction. But they'll get away with it. There's no repercussions for them doing it. So they'll do it openly, freely, and as much as they possibly can.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anyone you don't like is a Nazi, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about your politics. With the ANCAP, I think something maybe Destiny might bring up, something you want to be mindful of is I often hear a criticism of ANCAP is that, child slavery, child labor, and stuff like that. So, if you try to school in that area, you might want to be mindful of defending your ideology.
Yeah, well, that's not, like, too hard of a thing to deflect because with ANCAP it's a lot about self-property and therefore you can't own anybody else because they already own themselves. So.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun. I'm telling you, it will be so funny. Just like, I don't even know, like, does he, like, how do you win in that situation? It's him, though, because, like, if you don't debate a 14-year-old girl, oh, you're scared of a 14-year-old girl, but if you do debate them, then it's like, okay, this is where you're at. You're debating a 14-year-old girl.
Well, I'm glad he took up the opportunity. I don't like when people use that just because they think they're gonna get flack for it. Because
That's true.
You know, it doesn't really matter. Like, people acknowledge that I can handle a debate, and when I do get into the debate, I'm not going to play the age card if I lose. Like, so I'm glad he actually took up the opportunity, but it's gonna be really funny if it doesn't go well for him.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving credit where it's due. That means you seem pretty honest.
Well, thanks.
No problem. Unlike him, but you know, that's the hard part. You gotta look out because you're willing to be honest and maybe he's not. So it's playing dirty.
Yeah.
In terms of internet culture, has that influenced your humor? Because your videos are very humorous, obviously.
Well, yeah. Well, certainly. Well, I've been browsing poll for about like a year or two now, so that's definitely had some play into it. That doesn't necessarily make me a Nazi because I go on there. Just want to clarify that to I don't know, whatever journalist is watching, but that certainly has some influence on my views and definitely my humor. Like a lot of that stuff is geared towards more like the Sam Hyde fan, poll browsing type people, like that they're only gonna get it, and you know, more esoteric stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
just like being on the level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a small audience that likes that sort of thing, but it's certainly very rewarding, and you know, I find it a lot funnier than average humor. So,
yeah, I totally get you. You remind me a lot of myself. I feel like that's like a Sam Hyde. But unironically, you remind me of myself. I also was going on certain underwater basket weaving forums at your age. Mm-hmm. So yeah. It had a similar effect on me and my humors, which is why I think we're kind of similar in the way we joke and everything. You know?
Yeah, I mean, what were you doing at my age, like, besides that?
Literally that. I mean, going to high school and doing that, yeah.
Well, hopefully I won't have to go to normal high school for much longer. I'm trying to get into this alternative high school where I only have to go like a couple times a week and I can do the rest of the work at home.
Yeah, I went to an alternative high school as well. I tried normal high school and then I went to an alternative and I kind of flip-flopped a little bit, but a majority of my high school was alternative as well. It was definitely better. I mean, the only thing is it's a little bit stigmatized. Like, it depends which one you go to. I don't know how it is in your area, but like an example, one of the alternative schools I went to, everyone there was like, they're normal, but they were classified as special ed, so it means they just get to cheat on their tests for free, basically. Yeah. And stuff like that. And like, they'll get a short bus even though like they're not retarded, they're just listed under special ed. So like, be wary of that whole stigma if that's how it is where you are as well.
No, this one is it's in the same district and it has to follow all the same curriculum and stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna get like a special ed high school graduate certificate and not be able to do anything with it.
No, this one it was they don't give you a special. It's the same one and it says it's from the normal high school as well. But it's just that like you had the option. I wasn't special ed. I was one of like 2 people there that wasn't, and I got to not cheat on my test, and it fucking sucked. I mean, like, it was easy, but the fact that everyone else gets to cheat and I don't, it sucked.
Well, how like hard was high school at the time for you, I guess, and well, in general?
I think the struggle was more socially, which is why I opted in for an alternative school.
Did you have a tough time socially? Like,
oh yeah, definitely. I had a hard time making friends. Even back then, like, I recognized, like, that they were normies, and like clearly like it was not working, compatibility issues, like it just wasn't working in any aspect. So I also didn't like I don't know every reason that you want to opt in for it. I assume it's for similar reasons for social issues, because like, you know, no matter what time period you're in, there's going to be the majority and then like the outsiders, right?
Yeah.
But in my case, it was very big, and I thought I wanted that. Wait, that sounds wrong. But it was really overwhelming, and then I struggled to make friends. Like, I couldn't find a lot of people with common interests. So then I went to alternative school. So yeah, it might work out for you. It might be good, but, you know, there's pros and cons.
Well, I'm surprisingly not having that hard of a time socially. I mean, I don't, like, my friends are pretty cool, and if I steer the conversation, it's usually not that bad. Like, I can have conversations about things that are actually interesting with them. It's more like I just really hate sitting in classes and all that sort of shit. It's just really easy, or it's really boring, and I hate not having enough time to do videos, because I want to make a living doing it, and right now I don't have enough time to establish it as a business, really.
Yeah. Have you talked to your parents about like going to private school? Because alternative school and private school are a little different. Alternative is still like, you know, public education. Private is you're paying for it.
Well, I don't like. It's not like I want it to be harder or anything. I just want more time to do my own thing, and private schools out here are just. I'm in California, so it'd be way too overpriced, and you wouldn't even get that much better quality with it.
That makes sense.
You'd be paying like college tuition every year for it.
Yeah,
So.
that's crazy. I didn't know you lived in California.
Yeah, I actually moved in August. I lived in upstate New York for 13 years, so up until
Wow.
now.
Okay. I've actually never been to. I'm from New York, but I've never been to upstate New York. Do you like it better where you are now, or?
Uh, yeah, there wasn't much to do back there. It was about an hour away from Canada, and there wasn't anything to do in the city. And also, it was cold for 6 months straight, so it's a lot better out here because I'm quite close to San Francisco, and the weather is the same throughout the year.
So you, even though the people there, I assume, are like shittier, it's still
Well,
better in terms of weather.
yeah, it's a lot of ultra liberal kids in the school, but I still have hope for Zoomers because a lot of them reject feminism and that sort of thing, and are annoyed by political correctness. So it's like the indoctrination doesn't work on a lot of them, and that makes me really hopeful.
How is it at school? Because I think that in some ways, school for you is different than how school was for me. Like a lot of things are normalized and things like that. How is it like in terms of ratio with people that are being, I don't know, like crypto liberals at 14 versus being on the level? Like what's the ratio like now?
Um, you know what? I can't really. It's a lot more females that are ultra liberals. It's only really um, beta guys that are ultra liberal as well, that are trying to like virtue signal and, I don't know, get laid or something like that.
You can already
Most of
establish betas at 14.
Yeah, I've observed a lot of the hierarchy, and it's quite interesting how kids organize themselves. But most of the guys are cool and conservative, and the female friends that I have are pretty politically aligned with me as well. So that's surprising.
Wow, that's really nice. Like even I struggle to have friends that are on the level.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of uncommon with women. Like I even have a lot of guy friends. They're like the face with no GF, and it's like they struggle to even find a girl that's not a lib shit.
Oh shoot.
So it's pretty sad to see.
Oh, wait. You cut out. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Oh, I said that even now I have a lot of guy friends that are like the face with no GF the feel with no GF or whatever, and then they're like having to date these girls that are whores, and they can't find girls that are at least even like politically neutral or apolitical. So it's interesting that you're saying at your age you managed to find female friends that are on the level like you.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with the internet because they said they saw people like Ben Shapiro and that's sort of what kept them away from the political correctness. I think when you grow up having internet since the age of 6, you're going to figure out the truth. It's not going to be millennials where you've already been brainwashed so much that when you finally get access to the internet, like none of it has any effect on you and you keep believing liberal shit.
Ben Shapiro uprising, raising
Yeah.
a whole generation of Zoomers.
Yes.
like a Zoomer. So basically, what you're saying is like people at school, one monitor they have Fortnite, and on the other monitor they're watching Ben Shapiro talking.
Yes. That's exactly how it's going.
Oh my.
Like playing Overwatch and, I don't know, listening to Jordan Peterson blow the fuck out a university student or something.
Oh my god. Someone says Ben Swag Piro.
Mm-hmm.
Monk Queen donated $4 and said, Brit is Soph's cool wine aunt. I am not a cool wine aunt. My uterus is not dried up, okay? It's not as old as the wine, so...
Are you, like, planning on having a lot of children?
I think that'd be nice to have a family, especially as an only child. You said you have a brother, right?
Yeah, I do.
I want to make sure that if I have kids, I mean, hopefully, that they're not just like alone. Because there's actually a stand-up comedian telling jokes about that last night. It's like when you're an only child, you're one death away from a partnership. It's not really a family.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
but it's,
even though...
go on.
Oh, wait, what were you going to say? Oh, okay. Well, it was, fun having a sibling and, fucking around and whatnot. Now he's sort of a fag, but it's fun to bully him. Also, he still lives in New York, so...
How did that happen?
Well, he's in his junior year, so he wants to finish high school there since the requirements and courses are so different coast to coast.
Right.
So he's still over there, and I'm over here with my mother. So he'll like have another year of high school, and then yeah, my dad's gonna be over here as well.
Wait, so he's older than you,
Yeah, he is.
but you're more on the level than he is?
Well, he used to be ANCAP. I don't know if he was ever on poll type stuff, but now he's a minarchist, so I guess he's regressing.
What the hell? I
I'm
didn't
not
even
sure how that
understand
happens.
Yeah, me neither. I think it's really rare to see someone go from anywhere on the right and then go left. The only time I've ever seen it is when people are embarrassed, like they get blown the fuck out in some way or another, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh wait, I was just joking."
Yeah, like how I fell into the alt-right pipeline videos.
Yeah.
Like those are only for the people who don't have any principles and just are flip-flopping all over the political spectrum all the time.
Yeah, it's not respectable at all.
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to ask, how is your school with, like, I'm assuming they know you're a YouTuber, you have a pretty big following.
Yeah.
So how does that work out? Like, what do they say?
Well, this school doesn't harass me. They haven't got on my case yet, although a few teachers know, and like our school newspaper wrote something about me. The last school I had more problems with because it was how it started was I made one video that was addressing some scenario that happened to my school, and I used first names and like fake last names, and the parents were able to identify the children that I was speaking about in my video, and they harassed the school to harass me and get me to take down my video, or they harassed the school so the school would harass my parents, and then my parents harassed me to take down the video because they don't want to deal with shit from the school. And that happened on 2 different occasions.
Wow, did you have to take it down?
Yeah, I had to. The first one I had to delete, and I didn't. The file was on a different computer. It was a complicated scenario, so I couldn't re-upload it later. But the other one was a video called "The Cult of Moms," which I re-uploaded on a summer vacation because I was like, I don't give a fuck.
I think that must have been like so. What's the word? It's just like it must be so annoying for you because you're the opposite of someone that flip flops. Like you want to stand for what you believe in and say what you
Yeah,
want, right?
yeah, but I was just getting pressure from my parents, so I'm like, fuck this. But it was quite frustrating. Even though I only spent like a few days per video at that point, I, I thought the videos were funny. So,
They probably were. I want to ask you. I know you're only 14, but how do you feel about having a family in the future, like the traditional household and everything like that?
yeah, I do. I want like an army of children, to be honest. I want like 10 kids.
Good luck, everyone. Autopilot mode enabled. Autopilot mode disabled. taken the lead. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy cruiser detected. Fighter airborne. Enemy aircraft carrier sighted. Our victory is in sight. Roger. Our victory is in sight. Enemy destroyer sighted.
One writer had a beautiful phrase about it, where you got to a stage where everyone was killing everyone. He said you also got to the stage where truth was whatever you were having yourself. And we're not far away from that place where I say what you call is hate speech, and you say what I we're not say is hate speech. From that, let's call the whole thing off. Place where we're not very far away. What you call is hate speech, and you say what I we're not say is hate speech.
It's
let's call the whole.
It's very strange that this echo chamber is being so reinforced, and that very few people are stepping out and saying, "Well, wait, let's take a look at this objectively."
Yeah.
And the people that do that are signaled out as being racists or sexists or homophobic or transphobic or what, fill in the blank, whatever is convenient.
Yeah, but it's not surprising that more people don't want to stick their heads above that parapet, because I mean, if you had a normal job, you worked in a normal office or shop or something, you really don't want this coming towards you.
Right.
I mean, this can tear apart and tear down people who spend a lifetime demonstrating they are not the thing that they're being accused of. So if nobody knows anything about you, you have no particular persona out there, you have no particular back record, you don't want this thing coming to tear your life.
Signaling to the highest degree. Let everybody know. This is awful. Terrible. And unfortunately, many people weren't defending the murder, but
because, well, you are a fucking wop, mate. Hmm?
Pilotage automatique activé.
Well, this news is breaking, and the details are coming in. I'm sure it'll become much clearer to us at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. But for right now, we can tell you that there are charges now announced against Michael Avenatti.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs. All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit? I'm not playing games. Mexico has to stop it. A lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things. I would say treat this.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline's lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline's all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs. All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline's lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline's all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit! This fucking timeline's lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow! This fucking timeline's all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Robert Mueller's probe.
Robert.
Seems to be broadening in various countries and at the same time tightening in on members of President Trump's family.
This is Brian Stelter. You may recognize the back of his head from Grindr, or his Twitter profile picture from Grindr, or his bloated, deep-fried intake valve from his something similar to work on CNN. And if you don't frequent these districts, actually pointing out that gaydar is an evolutionary advantage, then you've probably never heard of the weird, gropey, greasy bald ovary that waddles to the CNN stage each night to shit out the time-release suppository his handlers just shoved up his backhole. May I remind you that this sort of television segment Brian Stelter drooling that, quote, Robert Mueller's probe was, quote, broadening and tightening at the same time.
Robert Mueller's probe seems to be broadening in various countries and at the same time tightening in on...
So, gaydar. Anyway.
More Trump TV boosters have to deny. The worse things look for Trump's inner circle. For example, look at this new CNN poll. It finds that 61% of Americans believe the Russian investigation is but if you're watching Fox, you're hearing the opposite. But just in the past few days, take a look at all these new headlines.
To appreciate the infinite hilarity of CNN's Grind and Brian Stelter not only using fake headlines as some kind of evidence, but having one of those headlines come from the same fake network as his fake show. It's also the only outfit that stuck as source in the actual f***ing headline, meaning that the fakest fake headline being used as fake evidence of a fake crime was made by that same fake f***ing network in the first place. Take a moment to imagine the kind of bubble you'd have to be in to think that this was in any way okay. And for those of you saying, I don't get it, John, all I can picture is a rusted out 1972 Chevy Astro with Biden windows. You get it.
All these stories about what Mueller is asking in these what he might be finding. There's a news story in the New York Times this morning.
Skip. It should come as no surprise that this diabetic meat puppet was, in effect, lying to 100% of his audience's faces 100% of the time for 100% of the past 2 years. Factor in the balloonosexual's affinity for jealously dragging Tucker Carlson into almost every single episode of his solo sex tape, and you will understand the God-kissed rampage of righteousness you are about to witness.
CNN, Jeff Zucker dispatched his eunuch to address the channel's viewership, meaning those Americans trapped at the airport waiting for flights.
This is Tucker Carlson. He's not particularly fond of Grindin' Brian groping his otherwise upstanding name into the 1960s sci-fi porno sometimes erroneously referred to as CNN. He's also endured over 2 years of weirdo attacks against his home, his wife, his daughter, his job, and his reputation, much of which was incited by Brian Stelter. Which is probably why he looks like he's going to do exactly what he's going to do. And Brian Stelter's career.
Jim Rainey at the LA Times took a lot of our stuff. Brian Stelter at the New York Times was helpful. Well, Brian Stelter has since left the New York Times. He's now the House eunuch at CNN, announcing proclamations from his tiny king, Jeff Zucker. He takes his talking points, though, still from Media Matter. Here's Zucker's puppet.
A lot of what Fox does in primetime is resentment television, making you resent liberals and others who are trying to hurt you. That's the message from Fox. I think all of this matters. It's about decency and standards. It's about the corrosive, ugly that happens on cable news or off cable news involving some of these hosts.
It's about decency, cries the eunuch. We must have decency. By which the eunuch means less disobeying, more obedience. Stop criticizing the program, or else. This is the face of state media. You may think CNN has been lying to you relentlessly for the last 2 years, the eunuch explained. Not at all. CNN has done a fantastic job. None of this was our fault. We're amazing. Listen to him squeak.
Reporting is what adds the most value. Finding out something new, putting out new information into the world is the best feeling in journalism. It's the greatest value add. That's what hundreds of journalists have been doing, trying to solve pieces of this Trump-Russia puzzle. So don't be fooled by the partisans who cherry-pick the worst mistakes of individual journalists or the craziest ideas from commentators and claim that's the entire media. It's not. We're waiting for the facts. You're going to hear this from the right for the next days and weeks to come, that the press has basically made all of this up to take down President Trump. But the press is just following a trail that Trump created.
The greatest value add. That's how CNN sums up its role in the Russia story. Does a single person believe that? Of course not. Not one person.
That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more of it, consider supporting this channel through patronage, one-time donations, or by purchasing a shirt or song, all of which can be done on johnwardcinematics.com. The podcast will continue until the end of April. Details also on the website. Thank you for watching. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion.
She said, I'm a feminist man, I'm a fucking man eater. When I'm not in theater class, I'm blasting through glass ceilings. My feelings are so seriously real, they are my steering wheel. I'm steering clear of any gentleman who get near me. You hear me? I said, yep, I got it. Now I'm walking, I'm off it, I'm moving on. I'm a finder behind 100 pounds lighter. Well, that ignited a fire inside her eye of a lager. Don't want to die, so I fly, but I leave it Snickers for the beast.
Wir sind die letzte Hoffnung.
Wir sind die Menschen,
die dafür kämpfen, die Sea zurückzuerobern.
Wir sind die Division. Und wir werden in die Geschichte eingehen. Auf Xbox One spielen. Xbox One spielen.
An award. They said no Jussie Smollett jokes. Yeah, I know. What a waste of light skin, you know? You know what I could do with that light skin? That curly hair, my career would be out of here. You fucking running Hollywood. Yes, no, just... What the hell was he thinking? From now on, I ain't never gonna know just... You're Jesse from now on. You don't even get the you no more.
That you is respect. You ain't getting no respect from me.
First of these 7 principles is that illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration. It's plain and simple and unavoidable. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong, and we have to change it. Above all else, the American people want their government to be serious about protecting the public, enforcing the rule of law, and creating a rational system of legal immigration that will proactively fit our needs rather than reactively responding to future waves of illegal immigration.
All stations, concentrate fire on that target. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. That was a great battle. Enemy destroyer sighted. Problem solved, sir. Ship is on fire. Ship is on fire. Enemy destroyer blown up. Enemy destroyer detected. Enemy cruiser sighted. Alle Stationen, Feuerunterstützung. Roger. Roger. Enemy battleship sighted. Ship is on fire. Problem solved.
Nomo, Kurogiri, kill him. I'll deal with the children.
And we thinking about you.
When a woman sees a distinguished professor or lawyer subject to that kind
I want to be clear about something before I go into any of this. I actually have massive respect for medieval Muslims and what they achieved, specifically with the Muslim conquests. There's no doubt that a huge amount of energy and fanaticism went into creating the vast Muslim empires that ended up eating up the Persians and most of what was remaining of the Roman Empire, and the Germanic kingdoms in North Africa and Spain as well, and into France. There's no doubt that huge amounts of skill, many thousands of men killed, the amount of blood spilt, the amount of effort it would have taken, the fruits of the victory they enjoyed, they earned that by conquest, because that was the rule of the day. There were no liberal values, there was no hegemon of the world, there was no supranational organization like the UN or something to condemn or to intercede or anything like this. The order of the day was you could keep it, you had it if you could keep it, and you could keep it if you could defend it. There were many ways of doing this. You could do it by subterfuge, you could do it by force of arms, you could do it by diplomacy. There were many ways of establishing and keeping what you had, but that was the way the world worked, and everyone understood that. And they were the rules by which everyone played. So when the Spanish finally managed to drive the Muslims out of Spain, all was fair in love and war. And let's be very, very clear about this. The Muslims did not gain Spain peacefully. They gained it through war, through conquest, through violent bloodshed, and everyone understood that was what would happen. And so in 1492, when the was it Emirate of Granada, I think it was, finally fell. Okay, well that was that. That was the way things went. You tried, you failed, but no one was. It wasn't like people thought, oh well, that wasn't fair. You had a good run, you did your best, and the Christians managed to win back Spain. So 500 years later, when the Muslims are asking for an apology from Spain for being defeated by the Spanish because their invasion failed.
Are you a violinist? What are you talking about? Yes, I am.
Keep it calm!
Sopa de macaco, sopa de macaco, sopa de macaco.
I didn't call you a woman. That's self-love. By saying.
One time my dad took away my Harley privileges for like 2 weeks, and I felt like my grandma died because we were pretty connected.
But like she's died, like she's gone for good, dog.
Is grandma coming back or no?
No, that's not how death works, I don't think, you know?
Damn.
Imagine, like, if your Harley broke.
Just get it fixed.
Imagine if it exploded.
Fuck.
I can't take my dead grandma to the shop. Do you get how death works?
Yeah, that sucks.
Men have 6 times the brain power that women do. Men excel in math and science.
Then why don't they use it if they have it?
Women didn't get us to the moon.
How do you know that women didn't get us to the moon?
It's public documents.
Good possibility, isn't it?
That's insane.
No, it's not.
That is absolutely insane. You're saying that women devised calculus, rocket propulsion, built the shuttle, and told men in the sack, perhaps, how to build a rocket, and then men went to NASA the next day and said, last night I was thinking this is how to build a
very
rocket."
good possibility.
No, this is, you have an immature understanding.
Honey, I am twice your
Of
age.
injury.
Is that why all the prisons are full of men who molest
The prisons
and
are full
kill
of men
and
raised
beat?
by single mothers. We had an altercation the other day in
Why
front
are they
of
raised
this
by?
house
Why are they
with
raised
a woman
by
who
single?
disagreed with what I said.
Why are they raised? You've never raised children. And half the men leave and don't raise the children.
I don't have to build a car to know when one doesn't work.
You're an
I don't
idiot.
have to raise a kid to know when someone's doing a bad job of doing it. And I see it right here.
Yes, you do. Oh, I'm raising my children badly?
Yeah.
So it shows how stupid you are.
Shooting someone because their
You're an
opinions
idiot.
disagree with yours is reckless and dangerous. You
So don't even give it to me, buddy, because you don't have any
bitter
idea.
about
No,
being a
I
single
just-
mother.
I love being a single mother. I love not having
Then why
a
do you
man
get so
around
angry
to tell
when you
my
talk
children
about
the
it?
wrong thing to do. I'm angry at people like you who think they know what they're talking about, who haven't a clue.
Oh.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Is the way to show me I'm wrong insulting my sexuality by saying I've never been laid is by
You probably
making
haven't.
personal attacks? But is that
And
the
you
way you
probably
show
still live
someone
with
they're
your
wrong?
mother.
But is that the way you show someone they're wrong? By insulting them personally, which you're doing
Wait
right
a minute,
now.
excuse me. You started this conversation. You started insulting
I started
me.
it by saying someone who disagrees with you should be shot is not a responsible
And I
way
told
to
you that
solve, because I don't like old hags getting their hands all
I'm
over
sorry,
me.
what's an old hag? What's an old hag?
I'm just counting the wrinkles.
Where?
Once you get past 4 or 5 under the eyes, I call it
Honey,
an old hag. I
you
call it how I
haven't
see it.
a clue. You haven't a clue. Because I have to deal with you. How am I supposed to react to someone like you?
With class.
After you put the pillow on your lap and said, "Come here, honey,"
Yeah.
and I threw the pillow at you. Yeah? I should
Oh,
have
that's
shoved it down
okay.
your throat. Thank you very much.
This is exactly what I'm talking. This kind of violence is exactly what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
well, okay.
You
know
should
what?
have shoved it down my throat.
Yeah, because,
Why?
Because all you could think about was having.
So I should be physically assaulted
that a
because
woman
I
sit on
look-
your lap,
Can
honey.
I ask you something?
Go ahead.
When you accuse a man of being, you accuse him of being a woman. Why is that your highest insult? That's the
You know
worst
what?
insult you can
You
give
know
me is
what?
calling me a woman. Yourself. Self-loathing.
I didn't call you a woman.
That's self-loathing. You call me self-loathing.
What makes you think that?
Probably not. You know-
Okay, and if I had, wouldn't that give me the authority to tell you the taste?
No, that would make you a crap eater.
You ever heard of the 2 black guys walking on the street? One's got 98 cents, one has $1, and it says there's a sign that says we could turn you white for 99 cents. So they make the plan that the guy with the $1 will go in. When he comes out, if it's good, he'll give the penny to the guy, and he'll go in and do it. So the guy goes in with his $1, he pays, he comes out, he looks amazingly white.
My funny story, I was on the porn set.
Times. 10, 17 times.
Little.
Oh, we're so close.
Get in there deep. You my stick.
It's fine. Look, oh my god, I just want to be home. We're so close. We're so close. Oh my god, baby.
Isn't that right?
What's that?
For you.
Horse.
So I decided to be a unicorn.
Excuse me, honey. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's why you're not picking up your phone? Because you're in the freaking hotel? My cousin. You're in the hotel? You think I'm stupid? You think I'm stupid? I know you don't think I'm stupid. I know you don't think I'm stupid, bro. I know you don't think I'm fucking stupid, right? It's your fucking cousin? This is a fucking joke.
terviseks.
Skål.
Na rok. Słońce. Na zdrowie.
Сука, блядь!
Hey fellas, knock off all that high society crap and play some of this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just plain ass normal, everyday, no question about it, no NFL, no year, not named after a player, not named after a coach, not named after the referee's pet goldfish, no quarterback, dime back, nickel back, simple, ordinary, unembellished, unmistakable, crystal clear, as frank as Frankenstein, as blunt as an atom bomb, one compound word, it's motherfucking goddamn sons of bitchin' fucking football!
Don't believe them.
You got to be kidding me. Get your foot off the pedal.
Them go extinct. It makes it so that... How long have you been a meat eater for? I only eat meat. I'm going to the Meat Stock Fresh Festival. Are you going? Yeah, I want the tofu spring rolls, except I don't eat tofu, so do you have like a tofu flavored chicken you can substitute in for me? It's not that vegetable. It's what bad people could eat us. Broccoli.
I've got. What are you gonna give me, mate? What are you gonna give me?
I've got a glass.
You got fucking syringe by your foot, mate.
Restorations to come. The best chance for the survival of their species is for us to kill and eat them. That coconut was going to grow into a palm tree. Why would you eat that? I could never eat plants that are raised in crowded farms and inhumane living conditions with less than 1 square inch of space per stalk, stuck in the soil against their will. Have you ever thought about going meat eater to help save the planet? Or do you just not care about the earth? Have you seen the Kaleспiracy documentary? You gotta see it. It's so heartbreaking seeing how all the plants are killed.
You got fucking syringe by your foot, mate.
I've got watch as will. Just take them, mate. Just take them.
I don't want it, mate. Get away from me, please.
In the bottle, mate, please.
No way, mate. Get away from me, please.
You know, it's fucking cunts like you, mate. That's what it is.
Cunts like me that what, mate? You need to help yourself.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
The Nazis hate me.
It's fun.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, you know, so many people in this movement who preach trad life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners.
That's
like,
so bad.
Like, they're not even like really trad life.
Such
like,
scum.
What does that say, Anaya?
What?
No.
What?
Fuck, Petey.
So I was watching Toy Story 2 the other day, and just as I was about to come, I fingered my urethra and forced the cummies back inside me. I left it there until it hardened, and then I pushed it out and did a pee-pee cummy poop. I splurged for Zug.
The recoil bruised my shoulder.
The brass shell casings disoriented me as they flew past my face. The smell of sulfur and destruction made me sick. The explosions, loud like a bomb, gave me a temporary case of PTSD. For at least an hour after firing the gun just a few times, I was anxious and irritable. And in such small portions.
Reflex said 9/11.
Amazing.
My boss wasn't happy.
I'm no fan of white supremacists. I'm no fan of identitarianism as a whole. But we need to explain some important issues to the left who don't seem to realize
Bought a webcam today. Here, let me show you the webcam. Oh, I can't show you the webcam. The webcam's on the webcam. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Four.
Что ты делаешь?
Но он постоянно ее тут так ставит.
Что, ты хочешь отрезать ее просто?
А?
Ты хочешь отрезать ее просто?
Как мне еще заехать?
Ну да, по-другому никак. Дядя психанул. Порвал как тузик Таня. Вот так паркуются у нас в Бескудниково.
Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Helps me forget about my cancer.
Allahu Akbar.
Fuck you, cocksucker.
This woman has come with a problem. One of her hands is shorter than the other. Look at that.
Practices.
It's fun. The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, do you know so many people in this movement who preach trad life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners?
That's
like,
so bad.
Like, they're not even like really trad life.
Such
like,
scum.
What does that say, Anaya?
What?
No!
What?
Fuck, Petey.
So I was watching Toy Story 2 the other day, and just as I was about to come, I fingered my urethra and forced the cummies back inside me. I left it there until it hardened, and then I pushed it out and did a pee-pee cummy poop. I splurged for Zerg.
The recoil bruised my shoulder. The brass shell casings disoriented me as they flew past my face. The smell of sulfur and destruction made me sick. The explosions, loud like a bomb, gave me a temporary case of PTSD. For at least an hour after firing the gun just a few times, I was anxious and irritable. And in such small portions.
Get fired at work today.
What'd you do?
Customer asked what my favorite holiday was, and I had a reflex said 9/11. My boss wasn't happy.
Leave you alone.
I almost got fired at work today.
What'd you do?
Customer asked what my favorite holiday was, and I had a reflex said 9/11. My boss wasn't happy.
No mames.
Bought a webcam today. Here, let me show you the webcam. Oh, I can't show you the webcam. The webcam's on the webcam. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
О.
Ой, что ты делаешь? Да он постоянно ее тут так ставит.
Что, ты хочешь отрезать ее просто?
А?
Ты хочешь отрезать ее просто?
Как мне еще заехать?
Ну да, по-другому никак. Дядя психанул. Порвал как тузик Тани. Вот так паркуются у нас без Кудникова, блядь.
Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Helps me forget about my cancer.
Fuck you, cocksucker! No, fuck you.
There's nothing more liberating and freeing to a woman than chauvinism. A woman has no responsibilities because I don't expect her to get anything right. All women are whores. They trade sex for money, they trade sex for cars. How is prostitution illegal, but alimony isn't? They're basically the same thing. You're paying for the whore to leave. A penny saved is a woman fired. Women make horrible employees. Women should not be allowed to vote. It's ridiculous. A woman president would be a disaster. Women know in their hearts that women cannot make decisions. A woman would never vote for Hillary Clinton. She embarrassed herself by not pleasing her man, essentially. And women know it. Oh, women are only good for having kids. Unfortunately, they're not very good at raising them. Hitler was raised by a single mother. Men have created everything you see in the world. Men invented electricity. Men invented cures for diseases. Every brick you see is there because a man put it there. The only thing women really do with their time is spend men's money. Men, this is what you look like to a woman. This is all they're after. Women can't do math. They can't be organized. Can't lead a company. They can't take risks. They can't drive for crap. You can't blame women for what they do wrong in the same way that you can't blame a dog for what it does wrong. It's your fault for not training it properly.
You could spend your dollar on this, or you can spend it on this. You could spend your buck on this, or you can spend it on this. This, or this. This, or any of these 10 delicious items on Taco Bell's new $1 Morning Value menu, each for just $1. The new $1 Morning Value menu at Taco Bell. It's not even fair.
Do you understand? You don't sip petrol from a can. You put the petrol in the corridors. Don't be around, slipping up your nose.
Hey everyone, it's Joe with Joey's Super Cool Food Reviews.
This woman has come with a problem. One of her hands is shorter than the other. Look at that! This is incredible! Her left hand is growing.
I'm coming to Hohlerde Inn and I want to know if you book my reservation. Okay, what's the last name? Okay, my reservation, my last name M-A-R-V-T-S. M-A-R? V-T-S. 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 VTS. VTS. No. VTS. No. That is my name.
Don't have it, but we have roofs for you.
How many do you have? You have a lot?
Yeah, yes.
How many do you have? You look in computer, you tell me how many.
Sure, hold on.
Okay.
We have...
I like to. How many you have, sir?
74 at 129.
I'm sorry?
74 at 129.
Well, I don't know. Is that how much is that in India?
25 rooms available.
How come you laugh? Why am I joke?
No.
Why am I joke to you? White devil? Why you fucking laugh? I I come there, I fuck you in the ass. But I come in, you know, you laugh in my face, right? Right? Spell my name! Spell my name! Motherfucker, you spell wrong!
This storm will kill you. It will kill your children. It will kill your pets. And everyone you know who wants to make it. This is a house. See that? We can't play the audio because there's a word in there. Somebody said a dirty word. You have round-the-clock Teen Fox smotherage for the rest of your life on this thing. We'll be live all night long tonight. I won't be because I'm having a family wedding. And Matthew is expected to be stronger and last longer than Katrina. You see what I'm saying? This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead. All of you. Because you can't survive it. It's not possible. And your kids died too. Now. Or risk death on a freeway in a traffic jam from hell later. Don't let your children die in your house. This fool, but not everybody's listening.
Outside, it looks...
Or risk death on a freeway.
Started wearing yes, this gender does not exist. 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 This gender does not.
Don't even know why I'm smiling. Me and Lumbo gone to the movies now, yeah? Bare hype, childhood memories. Got a lot of childhood memories invested in that whole franchise, bro. Running around in a big blockbuster movie in the first.
White people must be abolished. Real communism hasn't been tried yet. He will not divide us. This deed is dehumanizing.
Why?
You kind of got, you know, this.
Is that a lobster ring?
No, it's a scorpion. It's a scorpion. You like it?
I do.
Yeah.
I like it more if it was a lobster.
Why? Scorpions are cooler than lobsters, aren't they?
No.
Lobsters are just tasty. Scorpions are dangerous.
Lobsters are psychic.
See,
Legends, dude. Right. The fucking legend.
Hey, big girl. You wanna fuck me? Show my dick. I wanna see your fucking cock. Oh, yeah. You want some of this? You know you want.
You can't give a dog a bone. How many come to the crib that I might say house.
Rangers.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
Okay, I want to show you a little secret a guy taught me from the American Rangers. And he always said, you know, in a tactical situation, the sound of Velcro.
It looks... Hey,
Love you.
fucking... Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird looking fucking cat. Ma! Yo, there's a stray cat outside. I don't want it starting a fight with Lucy. Lucy, it's okay. It's okay, Lucy. Don't worry about it. Ma! Ma, there's a weird fucking stray cat outside. It looks like Grandma, the fucking thing. Hey, get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if that's a fucking cat. Blink, motherfucker. Hey!
I'm back.
Love you, Minecraft. I'm so glad that I can live in here. Always finding cobblestone, diamonds and redstone. Minecraft, love you, there are so many great things that I can do.
Child in quanto one me to be. Feelings of faces, like sand at the surface. Don't know what you're repeating of me. Put under pressure or wanting in your choice. Every step is a taking another mistake to go. I began so now I can think you there. Began so time somos more anger. I began is there. I learned to is it more like me, I'm being like you.
est à notre portée.
Wait, do you guys don't like? Wait, do you guys like? Nah, I feel like I'm watching Black Panther 2. I mean, it's not really racist, dude. The whole movie's about that shit.
Well, I suppose it means it's time for me to turn on the TV.
You're watching Wife Swap. This is Kelsey. She's an attentive mother of 2.5 beautiful children, a human rights lawyer, and attends every PTA meeting.
I guess I just don't really like mess.
This is Karen.
Karen, haha.
Karen lives in hollowed-out log with her children named Pantera and Dirt Bike with 3 R's. Her husband is a piece of driftwood.
He just never listens.
Kelsey is the coach of her son's basketball team, and her husband cooks a healthy meal for the family every evening.
You gotta stay healthy, guys.
For some reason, every morning when Karen wakes up, her mouth is full of wedding rings.
Not again!
Kelsey is a black belt in Taekwondo and teaches her 1.5 daughters self-defense.
It's important to stay safe.
Karen is scared because she just found out all of her children have skeletons inside of them.
Hey, you guys hungry for something from a cow?
Are ya?
Why don't you get a milk?
Get a milk.
Comes in a box.
Comes in a box.
Up next, the boy who wants to take off all of his skin.
I want to be a meat boy. All I want to be is soft and red. I want to be a meat boy. I want to use a barbecue for my bed. Any questions or?
As long as your aim's good. It's all about your aim. If you have shitty aim, oh, fuck you.
Will you capture one opportunity to pet every dog you ever wanted in one moment? Will you capture or just let it slip? Yo!
Yeah, I'm riding through the area in a car that's made of fucking burger, the leather, sand, leather.
So if you don't follow British politics, you probably won't know that a small group, 11 MPs from the centre ground, the centre, like, globalist ground of UK politics, have broken away from Labour and the Conservatives. These are Chuka Umunna, who's a Blairite globalist. It's alleged Nazi Anna Soubry, those sort of really middle-of-the-road, up-their-own-arses kind of politicians who have formed what they consider to be like a moderate centrist party that is completely for the previous status quo. You know, they want to remain in the European Union, overturn Brexit, increase hate speech laws, blah, 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 blah. And they call themselves the Independent Group, which is TIG. Now, this actually is not a bad name. They're not particularly independent, and they obviously want to remain entirely dependent on the European Union, but TIG and